Hi, it's Lucy, and today I'm here to do my November TBR. So for the month of November, I'm trying to take it easy, and by taking it easy, I mean I'm taking part in 2 Readathon reading events, because, I don't know what taking it easy means. So yes, I'm taking part in the Clear Your Shit Readathon and Nonfiction November. Nonfiction November is more low maintenance, I feel like. All readathons for me are low maintenance because I set out a TBR and then do probably nothing afterwards, but Nonfiction November is meant more to be low maintenance. You just have to try and read more nonfiction than you usually do, and this year especially, I have not been reading a lot of nonfiction. Mostly every year I feel like I read like a decent amount. Like definitely most of the people who are taking part in Nonfiction November read more than I do. Like I feel like I usually read like 5 or 6 nonfiction books a year, and I don't think I have done that this year. So yeah. So I have 2 books on that TBR, a bunch of books for the Clear Your Shit Readathon. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about the books that I'm currently reading and the one arc that I have. The one book that I'm currently reading is Black Sun by Rebecca Rowanhorse. This is an epic fantasy set in a world inspired by pre-Columbian Americas. We follow a bunch of people in the 20 days leading up to the winter solstice, which this year also happens to be a solar eclipse, which is a rare celestial event proscribed by the sun priest as an unbalancing of the world. That is a very bare bones synopsis. Like I said, this is an epic fantasy, so there's like a lot more going on. I think this might be part villain origin story, part something else, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm 30% of the way through the book, so I feel like I'm just getting into it. I'm listening to the audiobook version through Libro FM, which I am a Libro FM influencer. And so if you're interested in Libro FM, there's a link down below. For arcs, I only have one that is coming out in November. It comes out on November 17th, and that book is The Way Back by Gabriel Savit. This is a fantasy that draws inspiration from Jewish folk tradition, and we follow 2 teens who end up going to the far country, a Jewish land of spirits and demons, after the angel of death comes to their town and kind of sends them off onto this. I'm not exactly sure what happens. The synopsis feels kind of vague to me, but I was interested in reading this and getting an arc of this because one of the comp titles was The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, which I have just recently mentioned is one of my favorite books. And so that got me, along with it being based on Jewish folk traditions, which I don't know too much about, so I thought that would be an interesting fantasy story, and so I'm looking forward to reading that. Next, we have the readathons that I'm taking part in. Like I said, I'm taking part in the Clear Your Shit Readathon and Nonfiction November. For the Clear Your Shit Readathon, basically, this is how it works. It's supposed to be like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, I think. And basically, the hosts give you a bunch of prompts. You are supposed to be like a RPG character, I think. And so the host gave like templates for your character and your character cards, which I will have my character card right here. There will be like mini events throughout the next 2 months because this is a 2-month readathon where you get I don't know if you get points or anything. I think it's all just for fun where they assign books to read during the events. Not books to read, but more prompts. And they're like surprise prompts instead of giving them all to you at the beginning of the month. They do give you most of the prompts at the beginning of this. And also they basically assign 3 prompts a week. And so I have picked out books for the first 2 weeks of prompts, and then the rest of the prompts I will decide as we get closer to the time, I think. I don't even know how I'm going to do this because I'm probably not going to read all the prompts every week, just because it's kind of a lot. 3 books a week for 8 weeks is not usually how I read, and I'm also not even sure if I'm going to take part in it in December, but it looked so fun and it looked so cute, so I wanted to take part in it, show my support. The Twitter for it will be linked down below. By the time you see this video, the readathon will have started, but if you were interested, then I'm sure you can catch up if you want to. You can just skip the first week. There are no real rules. They have like a sassy narrator running the Twitter account, which is really funny. So they might tell you you're not allowed to take part, but it's a joke, and who cares? There's no readathon police. So like I said, I'm only going to say 6 prompts, and then the rest of them will be a surprise for everyone involved. And I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to double up on challenges, but like I just said, there are no readathon police, so I do what I want. So the first prompt is read the shortest book on your TBR. So for this one I have, If Cats Disappeared from the World. White Balance doesn't love this book so much. This is making another appearance. This has appeared in at least 3 of my TBRs so far this year, and I still haven't read it. Maybe this time? So according to Goodreads, this is the shortest book on my TBR. Goodreads isn't super accurate. Oh, I forgot the whole premise. The whole premise of the Clear Your Shit Readathon is like, it sounds to clear out your TBR, clear out the books on your shelves that you haven't read. And so for the Readathon, I'm counting ebooks as well as physical books, but only books that I already own. So those are ARCs, no library books, although I will probably be reading library books. And if I want to read any of the books that I have as audiobook, I can get that out from the library if I want to. So yeah, those are my self-imposed rules. But yes, this is one of the books. It's gonna get read, okay? I keep putting it on TBRs, I have to read it. Oh, I didn't finish the sentence, but yeah, I think I was saying that Goodreads isn't super accurate for me right now because I have not updated my Goodreads like own TBR shelf in a little bit, and I may or may not have acquired books, and I also have not unpacked my books, which literally every video I talk in, which is every video, I talk about how I still haven't done my bookshelf reorganization or organization. All my books are still packed up because I moved literally 3 months ago now. There's literally no excuse. Hopefully today I will do it as some kind of calming thing, because today is actually election day. So I'm filming this video as like a calming thing maybe. I don't know. I put on makeup today because I felt like doing that. And then I was like, oh, I'm wearing makeup. Might as well film my TBR. So I might organize my bookshelves to keep myself off of Twitter because that's not super healthy for my mindset right now. Hopefully by the time you guys see this, better things are coming. We'll see what happens. Hopefully after this I will organize my bookshelf, and then I'll have all my books out and I'll be able to catalog all my books, because I'm pretty sure I'm missing some. Or not missing some, like I know I have all of them. I packed them up before I moved and I know I didn't leave any. But yeah, I don't quite remember everything that I have, and I guess I could go through my like haul videos and stuff, but even that, like, not all my books made it into a haul video because some of them I got after I filmed the haul. But anyway, this is all too much. Let's go back to the TBR. The next prompt is to read the book that's been on your shelf for the longest, and so according to Goodreads, it is The Knife of Memory by Laurie Halse Anderson. I think I probably have had this the longest because I remember I got it for Christmas, like my freshman year of college, that Christmas. So that feels pretty old. Honestly, before I started BookTube, I read all the books that I owned as I got them for Christmas and like holidays and things. If I got a bunch of books, then those were the books that I read. This is like the last remnant of the before times. This follows a girl as she lives with her father, who is suffering from PTSD after he comes back from Iraq. The story takes place after they've moved back to her hometown after they've been moving around a lot. So she's trying to see if she can settle, and hopefully her dad gets help. I'm not exactly sure what is going on. I used to love Laurie Halse Anderson when I was younger. That's why I believe I asked for this book for Christmas or acquired this book. And yeah, I haven't read one of her books in a long time, so looking forward to that. A book featuring found family, Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. This is left over from, I think, my September TBR. This was an ARC that I received that I didn't get to that month, so hopefully I'm going to get to it this month. This follows a girl who ages out of the foster care system, and she's offered a teaching job on a somewhat isolated remote farm in Northern California, and so she decides to take the job, and when she gets there, she realizes she's not the only one who's there that's haunted by their past. A book with an animal? If cats disappeared from the world. I don't know if cats actually play a part in the actual story other than the question. Oh, I didn't say what this is about, but like I said, this has been in so many TBRs, you can watch one of those. And this next book counts for 2 prompts, an intimidating book and a scary book. And we have A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. If you're on Twitter or anything, you might know that this book has some controversy. I don't know what to call it about it. Some people have pointed out elements that they find problematic about this book. I bought this book before I knew about any of that because I pre-ordered the Owl Crate edition, but now I not only bought the book, I have a special edition, so I do still want to read it and kind of see for myself. If you don't want to read a problematic book, that's up to you. I am not one of those people who's like, oh, you have to read every book in order to decide if it's problematic, because people don't read books for lots of reasons. Someone could say, oh, I don't like the way this character sneezed in this book, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I probably won't like the way that character sneezed either, so I'm not gonna read that. You don't have to read books you don't want to read. But I was intrigued by this, so I do want to read it. I find this intimidating because both that element of it and just the way that people describe the storytelling, they say that it is very description heavy and kind of info dumpy, and that kind of initially made me excited because sometimes I can like that, especially if it's written a certain way, but that still does make me nervous because if it's too info dumpy, I don't know. I kind of regret ordering the Owl Crate edition just because I don't like the cover. Yeah, I don't know. I think the regular cover, I like it better. I thought it was gonna look like that. Like, I thought it was just gonna be the regular cover, which I'll put over this. I thought it was gonna be that cover, but instead of the dust jacket, it was just gonna be on the hardcover. And yeah, I thought that was gonna be this cover instead of this new thing. I don't know, I feel like they simplified it too much, but we're not here. This isn't a review of the Owl Crate edition, but yeah. And this also counts for the scary prompt because this book is about people who go to a school where everything in the school is trying to kill you. So that sounds kind of scary to me. So yes. And lastly, we have the 2 books that I'm going to read for Nonfiction November. I actually do believe that there are prompts for Nonfiction November, but I'm not going to be using them. So the first book that I have is Everyday Sexism by Laura Bates. This has been on my TBR for quite a while. I kind of think it might have been on my TBR too long. Like, my feminism might have outgrown this book. So I don't know, but I do own it, so I do want to give it a shot. And basically this is a collection of essays about what the title says. You guessed it. Everyday Sexism. And lastly, we have We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby. And this is a humorous collection of essays / memoir kind of book about various things in Samantha Irby's life. I think she's like a comedic writer or something like that. Like, I don't know what she's known for really, except for her essay collection. So she might just be like an essayist, I'm not sure. But I've heard good things about this. I've heard good things about her previous essay collections. I think she had an essay collection come out after this book. So those are some of the books that I'm planning to read in the month of November. I might read all of them. I might read just some of them. I usually do read at least a few of the books off my TBR. And I have some other books in the back of my head that I kind of want to read that we'll see if I get to them. It's all a mystery. If you made it this far into the video, give me a thumbs up emoji because it'll make me feel better. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. Also comment down below what you're planning to read in the month of November. Follow me on my social media. I have Goodreads, Twitter, and Instagram, which features my cat, who I love very much, and you should love him too. And I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!